Hi, welcome to class number 3, part 3 for Mobile Interactive App Programming for the 2015 International Summer University. In this video lecture, we will discuss the implementation of an example of an Android app that will use implicit intents, and this is the app that we will need to test the mobile app that we will be developing. Okay, so in our previous video lecture, we were discussing an overview about intents, and we were also discussing that we can categorize them in explicit and implicit. And so we had a discussion. So for the example that we will implement, I think we will do an implicit. Can we can have an application that has a web app using either way, right? But this is the one that I thought will be easy just for testing. Um, so the idea is that the app will open a web page and then using the implicit intent, right? So here will be an example that will demonstrate the use of implicit intents, but the main goal is that we're going to use this for our demos. Now, why is that we are using implicit intent? Because the application will not have an activity capable of opening or launching a browser given a URL. Then what we will do is, okay, I need an activity that is able to launch a browser, and I wanted to open this particular at the page that corresponds to the following URL. Then the application will search for, for, for another application that has an activity in this, that is able to do that, and this is likely to happen that we will open Chrome web browser in our mobile device. So that's the idea. Now, here is the steps that you need to follow to create that Android Studio implicit intent. So let me highlight. In the previous lecture, we were practicing using Android Studio, and we created an app that they just was saying hello Android or hello world, something like that. So basically, we're gonna do the same. So here, the first step, you're launching Android Studio to create a new project, and then here, what I have in parentheses, I don't care about the name. You can change the name for the application and the domain. I just use the default values. We're just testing here. We don't have a lot of time, but that's fine. Then you click the next button, and then on the other forms, again, you can leave the default like we did in the previous lecture, but at least be sure that you got these settings. So the default for the latest Android Studio, I think, will be okay. Then you continue, and again, you can change the names if you want to. That's fine. Continue now to the next screen. So that's what we're doing. And then what you will do is just the same thing that we did in the previous practice with Android. We're gonna go with a blank activity, and it will give you an option to name the activity. So now I think we understand the main files that we're gonna be using. So there will be an activity, the main activity, the one that will start when we launch the app. It will give you the option of changing the name. You can leave the default name, and then the layout file is the one that will be the interface. You can also change the name. Some people want to put something meaningful. Then the menu resource file, that's okay. Then you finish, and then you have the app that you just click on. If you run it, I think it will just have a message that says hello there or something like that. So then what we want to do is change the user interface. Now, when you do this, remember there is a layout that has inside in the text view, and the text view displays a text. So what we're doing is now changing that XML file for this. So you see it's very similar. Instead of displaying a text view, in this case we're going to have a button, and then here the button is going to call button 1, and you see here are things that we already use, the width, the height, and now it says going to be center, and it's making a reference to the string file, XML file, and this is going to display whatever text we have in the button text. And something that we haven't discussed, it says here on click, and I'm defining the name of a method. It says show web page. So we're going to program this button so when they click, it opens the web page for the given URL. Okay, so that's something that we don't have. So this interface is going to look like that. So this show web page should be also where it says button text. So now from the app that from the instructions to create the Android Studio example here, what we can do is open the XML file, and in the activities section for this class, I have my XML file. What you can do is delete the default and copy and paste the one that I have there. So I have this file there, so you can copy and paste it, and then you're going to have this. Now it's going to show you an error because it's going to look for in your string XML file for the text for button text, and it doesn't exist. So we should, I also copy and pasted my string XML file there, so you can go and copy that too, and then add or you can manually add the other string. So I have three files there. I have the string XML, I have the main, I'm not using the default names too. I think this is called main layout, or let me see, let me open that. Here, this is in D12. So here I have the main Java, the main activity Java. So this is the Java code for the main activity. I have the activity main XML. So this is the code for the interface. And then this is the strings XML. So I have those files. Those are the three files that you need to modify. So for example, oops, you can see. So this is how, oops, yeah, this is how that looks. For example, here. So from here you can copy and paste it, and make a reference to that. Okay, so let me go back to the PowerPoint. So then again, those are in the activity section for this class. So then you do this, and then it should look something like this. Now we also modify the activity again. The modification is just in the library. You see here the when we got the this is the code for my activity, right? So here it says set content view, and then uh, here don't be confused with the name. So here it says that the name of the activity is activity implicit intent. So this is the interface, and then here I think in mine I actually have, go back. The one that I use, I'm using here, it says set content view. This is our layout activity main. So I have all the names there, but it's the same. I'm using the default names, and I got these other names when I was testing. But okay, so here is this is the same code. You are opening that uh, interface. Now the thing that we need to add, remember that we're gonna click on that button, so, and you remember here in the bottom there is something that says on click, and then here is the name of the method. So if I whatever I name it here, so here it says show web page, is the definition. It's a public void show web page, and then here from that view, then here, this is when we're doing our implicit intent, and this is the example. So this is the main example. So here we're defining an intent, and this is the variable intent, and then this is implicit, and it says that we need an action view, and then we're providing a URL. What I want you to do is to test, and that's it. So what is it that you need to do? Well, create a default project, change the interface with this. When you make the change with interface, and remember the stream file is making a reference, or something else that you can do is take away this and just put the plain text over here, which is not a good practice. Or I mean, you can do that, or just change the stream and then make the definition there. Then it should look like this. Now when we click on this to make this functional, we need to add this method here, and we also updated some of the libraries. Again, this code you can copy and paste it from there. Now what I want you to do is test it with these two URLs. Like what I said is, you can test it with this and then you will see something, and then test it with this. I will have a short video tutorial on the testing, but this is what I want for the activity.